My father built our house, when we was young kids. I was about say 9 years old, and he happened to make a house in my hometown, which is Jammu. So during that, during the making of that house, I used to be very much on site. I loved to go on the site and just be there. I learned how to ride a bike, bicycle there, because the carpenters had the bicycles and all those things, and I used to request them, can I fetch this bike, your cycle for a minute, and they taught me how to, so it was a kind of a second home for me for 6, 7 months, 8 months, while it was being built. So that was a very enjoyable, journey, and I thought this is a very interesting process. I mean, somehow subconsciously it just made a place in my mind. So that was my first introduction to, and I was good in drawing and other things, since childhood. So then I started making, drawings of structures, buildings, houses to look at, and I used to dwell into those drawings. Uh, uh, I don't know how it came about, but that house, while it was being made, I drew a small sketch of it. My father and we used to have a like. My father was very, he was a very, he was very much interested in what we as kids were doing. So whenever I used to make a drawing, he used to sit with me, next to me, and he used to have a very critical, a viewpoint, and sometimes very inspiring viewpoints. He used to push me, and so I was making this point, and there were actually two houses, one my uncle's and our house, and there were similar mirror images, and there was a central driveway. And I made a sketch, and my father said, I want you to make a sketch of the houses when we are standing in the center and looking at the two houses. So it was very simple, standing in the center and looking at the two houses. But now my father said, since when we make a perspective of something, when we look at something, जो हमारे पास चीज होती है वो बहुत बड़ी होती है, and when it vanishes, somewhere. So when you're standing in the center, these two houses should vanish. The front of these two houses should vanish. This way and this way. I said no. I think it is wrong. It is looking wrong to me, because it was a kind of a distorted perspective for me. So, but then, over the next 2, 3 years, I had decided that I will be, this is a very comfortable zone for me. I'll become an architect one day. Got
So his
admission
his
into
was very easy. His was it was he was very passionate about architecture right since like he was 9 years of age, like he explained. For me, it was very different, and I belonged to a family of doctors. So my dad was a doctor, and everybody else in my family is doctors. So they didn't know anything besides medicine or allied fields to medical. We had to that time make a choice, either do mathematics or do biology. So I nicely put myself into mathematics just because I wanted to run away from being a doctor, because I knew it was my elder sisters were being doctors at that point of time, and they were always studying, and I didn't want to study that much. And so I just did mathematics, and after my 11th grade, we had a board exam after 11th at that point of time. I also scored pretty okay, and so I just walked into the college, got admission, and started up without knowing the A of architecture. So I had no clue what I was going into, but I decided to become an architect. That's how I joined architecture, knowing nothing about it.
See, over the years, what has happened is that in our college, especially I'll relate it to my college, so, because that is the only area I can be confident about. So in our college, we had at that time a gentleman by the name of Professor Aditya Prakash. He was our principal. So I have yet to come across a person with such a beautiful vision, as regards as teaching of architecture goes. He didn't teach us anything. He left us on our own. but he made sure that we search, fetch, somehow see things. He always used to insist on this fact that, Chandigarh is a laboratory for architecture. You don't have to study architecture. You just go into the city and see the things. What get inspired by Corbusier's stories and how the things came about. Ultimately, I realized that he was so right in that approach. He wanted us to see the things. He used to go with us on, on these tours also, along because principals seldom did that. And he was full of knowledge knowledge. He had a great knowledge of inspiring stories. Corbusier, because he had worked with, in the department, and at that time, John Ray and Corbusier, these people were there, and he saw them, and he actually wanted us to, to emulate them, in some way or the other. At that time, in those days, lot of architects who were visiting, for teaching, they had worked in these teams, John Ray's team or Corbusier's team, or then
We were
later
lucky
on.
to be in a city where
Yeah,
there
James.
was a lot of new architecture coming up at that point of time. So, by observation itself, there was a lot of learning. But luckily, we had teachers, what Naveen is trying to say is, who could tell us it's fine and just observe, and by observation, learn architecture.
I personally feel that architect is a complete man. He has to be so many things at the same time. For example, when we practice, we are making something for a rich guy. And a rich guy is supposedly, talking about on an average, he's more exposed than us. He's been to the world, more. He's seen more. He's seen richness. He's seen this car. He's seen that car. He's, his knowledge by default is a little higher than us. So now, in order to understand and sit with the rich guy and have interaction and we have to kind of absorb mannerisms and attitudes of a rich guy. Then at the same time, an architect has to be a technocrat. He has to be an engineer, because otherwise, if you don't understand MEP and all these services and other things, like Kapoor said, building, I mean, a house is a machine to live in. So that machine has to operate, and you have to understand, the total
The structure, the services.
Besides the structure, the services, the air conditioning, the plumbing, the electricals, the acoustics, all those things. You've got to be a scientist of sorts, because surfaces, building materials, they have different, nature. You've got to be a little technocrat and a scientist. Then you are interacting. See, first you interact with the topmost rich guy, then you interact with the lowermost labor class contractor or this thing, because he has a language of his own.
So as an architect, you have to be there, and there. Yeah.
And then at times you've got to become a judge, and then when you are intermingling with their families, you've got to understand youngsters, what he's saying, how mera kamra aisa ho. This is a very intricate kind of a subject, He, an architect cannot be practicing without being a psychologist. That is what I am trying to tell you. He has to be a psychologist, in order to understand, because
So many roles. An
So many
architect
roles.
takes many roles. Yeah.
So unless you are on your, unless you are enjoying it and you have a 36-hour, day, you can't, and you cannot have a 36-hour day without enjoying it. Otherwise, you get burnt out, fatigue. So somehow by default, we enjoy the process. We have to enjoy the process and somehow be in the process all day long. He is a financier also. I can't overshoot a budget. I can't under, make something. I can't overshoot a budget. I always tell my kids also. Both of them are architects. We have discussions. I always tell them a good architect has to be a good interior designer, a good, financier, a good,
Manager.
manager, a good, salesperson, a good, and a good artist too. Because after all, it is a art in which you live or you use, at the end of the day, there is something of an art in it. Because otherwise it would have been barracks and those straight line buildings like in olden Russia and all those things. You've got to be iconic as well as be very frugal as well as at times frugal, at times very uh, within you've got to work in constraints. So these are some things which I attribute to this is my personal viewpoint on art. I may be different because I don't know much about what is happening on a common this thing, but this is how I feel about it. Everybody leaves an impression on everybody. If he has got something good in him or bad in him, the impression will be there, of course. You know, how you take it, how you absorb it, how you, if you think about any impressionist thing, which is coming to my mind, if I apply my own mind on it and try to decipher it, ultimately the best thing, the most appealing thing of
You'll pick
that
up.
will be absorbed and rest will be left. You know, if you think enough about it, I feel so. Architect is actually a translator of sorts. Suppose you come up, a client comes to me and he says, I want a palace-looking house. This is a one-line brief. I like a palace-looking house. What do? You don't teach him, no, this is modern architecture and this is that, and and he somehow he may not get convinced. May not get convinced. Now, if he is not convinced, either you leave the job or you do the job. If you do the job, it has to be a palace-looking thing. So there is no particular style. I also work on that principle. I don't have a style.
So you're translating
It's
what the client
it's a response to a
Yeah.
client's brief.
So he tells you something, and to the best of your ability, because you have seen so many buildings like that in history of architecture, studied like he's giving me an example of palace. So as a good architect, I feel that you should be able to make something which is relevant today, but at the same time bring in elements of something that you've seen over the years or understood. Because finally, the building is not for you yourself, it's for the client.
That's the most
Unless
important sentence.
he's not happy with what you're doing, there's no point. You may say, oh wow, I made the best modern building, but that's not what he wanted. And he has to live in it. So if you cannot follow that brief, and some people get really stuck, architects get really stuck. But if somebody comes with a brief, then it's your job as an architect to be able to translate it to the best of your ability to something that he loves as well.
I'll give you a very nice example. Frank Lloyd Wright, if you've studied him enough, I mean, he had just a philosophy of organic architecture. This was just one word. That didn't mean his buildings all look alike, and they are the same. There was a different response to the Guggenheim Museum, and there was, and the
falling
water
water,
is different,
yeah, so
and then
different.
the Price water thing is different, and the Johnson Batch is totally different responses. But the underlying philosophy, organic architecture, it should spring, the sites should say what is to be built there, all those things. So I feel that yeah, there at the backdrop you can have a philosophy of a wider philosophy, which
But really
then
no style,
enhances
yeah.
all these styles
Yeah.
and other things,
Yeah.
because that is a response to a desire. Somehow I feel that art is just it is there, and it is a personal statement you make, and then that statement it is subject. You don't do art for a person. Art is something you do, from within you. You do it for yourself. For example, if somebody likes my art, it goes onto his wall. It's like that. Architecture, there is a restraint. Architecture is an art, but you're doing it for somebody. So that is the difference between architecture. But along the way, if you're visualizing, if you're having fun, and at times you want art is a relaxation for me. I just enjoy doing it.
Can you please
I was lucky to be, working on a variety of projects. Like we made a five-star hotel also in Khajuraho. Radisson in Hyderabad is done by us. No, Ramada. Sorry.
Ramada
Now it is
now.
Ramada. The Ramada in Hyderabad is done by us long time back. I think 92, 93.
Yeah.
We did that project. I was lucky to, just came to me, and those guys are also young people who made them. They put confidence into me somehow, and we did that. That was, in fact, my first project.
First architecture.
Project. I started my journey with that. But in that we learned so many things, so many things. And then I had a young structural engineer, and he was also that was his project, first project also. And I just to because I just want to relate a enthusiastic kind of I gave him a brief that there was a lobby, and I said there is going to be a spiral staircase inside, a grand spiral staircase I want to make. And people used to make half round, semicircular spiral, or maybe 3/4. I said no. The point from where I'm starting, I want to complete the spiral and land up there. We had the room, the headroom for it, 12-13 foot का वो height था. He said ये तो बड़ा impossible है. ये तो spring बन गया पूरा, like that. In those times, 92, 93 में तो वो बड़ा tough काम था. Spring बन गया, तो वो शायद steel में आप कर सकते. And we were to make it in concrete. But he took it upon himself, and the guy created that spring, and those springs are existing, and it's such a tough thing. It's lasted
50 plus years, yeah.
So likewise, and then I do a lot of residential, even housing projects also. There was a very odd shaped plot. Normally housings are put all around, and there's a central green. And I came up with an idea, told them, let's take a risk. Like this tripod stand, I told them, let's make a tri-star building, with 3 wings. And when we make those 3 wings, all the, your central green gets divided into 3. There are 3 components then, and all the flats are looking into greens rather than, because in that central green, half the flats look into the green, and
half on the road,
onto the other side, the roadside. So once we made that triangular this thing, those 3 greens, and it exists. This is in Indrapuram, and it got awarded as the best, in the luxury segment as one of the best housings. So things like these, keep on coming up. There was another project we did. Exotica is the company. Dream Village. This is in Noida, Greater Noida, and it's a large housing, 2,000 plus residences in that. And the brief was that I don't want to spend. I want to, whenever there is a corner flat or something, the builders charge the premium location charge, PLC they call it. They charge 5% extra. Now this was the fundamental for that design. I staggered the housing, although it was very dangerous and difficult to do it. I increased my work a lot, in that process, and staggered the design in such a way that there was a core, and we put 6 flats to a core. But then when we put those flats and conjoined them with the other, building, similar building blocks joining, all the flats got PLC. All
you created
2,200
corners
flats.
for all of them.
The price of the builder was, the revenue coming in was raised by 5%. He was very, very happy.
That's
I have not yet studied that difference, because now, post-COVID, I am doing the same things all over again. I am visiting sites, I am going to the clients.
So, like in design, he does.
like in design
Changing-
and art, like
changes in
during
design.
the COVID also.
Yeah.
During the COVID, I would like to interrupt. During the COVID period also, how did you manage it remotely? I would like to add that.
Yeah, things, okay. A very important thing in this, this journey is my ability to sketch. Let me be very frank about it. I have seen that in the Indian context, as far as smaller projects go, there are no site supervisors capable enough to read the architect's drawings. Up to say a petty contractor, or he's a semi-educated person at max. He's I hats off to the Indian labor and the Indian mind. They are so sharp, they are so clever in absorbing things and taking out what is needed by them so quickly from even from drawings they take out. I made that sketch and I used to write everything in Hindi on that sketch. All the all the things were in Hindi.
इतना बाय
So
इतना, उसका
ये इसको
dimension,
and
उसका
I somehow
specification.
trained myself. This is an old training. I trained myself, in how a mistake, because I can calculate what his next question. I can estimate what his next question would be. My working drawing was in Hindi as a sketch. So you can imagine this was the difference. This was a kind of an innovation. This is a COVID innovation, you can call it.
So, I'm not really in private practice with Naveen. I work for a firm called Kotharis. So, I've been with them for 30 years or more. I left them for a little bit of time and I did my management as well. So, I have done post graduation diploma in management. And so I have a little different profile as an architect. So I don't do hardcore design at all, but I manage a lot of things for my organization. So I'm the client interface. So any new work, I do all the presentations for the office. So there's a team who's actually designing while I go and make the presentation, because I have that communication skill. But because I'm an architect as well, I can translate what somebody else has designed and go and show it. So I do all the presentations for my office, I do all client handling, and I also am the interface between the consultants and the architects team. So I'm like more of a coordinator in my office. So I'm coordinating a lot of stuff. So that's exactly my job profile. So yeah, so I don't do any hardcore. That is my job, and that's what I
In
do.
her case, when they do larger projects, the company, and in that case, there are so many stakeholders. So unless there is a holding, a central pivot around which everything rotates, it can fall apart. Just a demonstration. For example, this is the COVID time sketches. That's why I just suddenly remembered. This is a steel balcony was to be attached to an existing slab. So this was the kind of the thing we wanted to incorporate. My sketching came in very very handy. That did few things for me. One, communication. I
To
communicated with the
convey
client also
to somebody,
immediately.
if you can do a 3D sketch immediately, so the client understands, the person who's to build it understands, so you can actually do the whole work with a 3D sketch. So because
And it considerably reduces my workload on the studio guys.
Communication is the most important.
Process. The moment you give these guys, the laptop. Oh, so what about the drawing board? Because drawing board is going to make you learn how to think. Then it is after, you can't see I find it very difficult, to when the screen is zooming in, zooming out, I don't have a sense of scale, I don't have a sense of proportion. So, and that process was slower, of course, but it had its merits. It really, after all, what is architecture? Architecture is just a skill of estimation and calculation, and I strongly feel that architects should be made to work on the drawing board for at least 3 years, and then they can go wild with the computer.
but the
Whatever
thinking
they
should
say,
happen
they
with
should.
the pen and the paper.
Because even construction drawing, even the construction technology, we are now so much, our young architects are now so much dependent on the companies, vendors. What are you doing? How will you innovate? Those companies are going to feed you whatever is financially profitable to them, or they are not going to do the innovation bit for you. So unless you understand glass and how it is fixed and what is the mullion and what is this thing, how can you innovate?
But besides that, skills that are missing today is that uh, I so because I'm in communication maybe, but we as architects are not trained for any kind of communication. I don't think we are ever taught that how to be able. So you may be a great architect, but if you cannot convert that through your words, and explain to somebody else then you cannot sell. And you have to be able to sell, because you may be very, very good, but if you don't have a project, it doesn't translate. So, what will a good drawing or a good mind do without being able to sell it? So,
The second last.
Yeah, so I feel that technology was there also out, and it was important in bringing us to this level. Now I feel that it is now actually doing us wrong. I feel we are now over the hill with it, and I feel the technology which is now going to be teaching us or teaching us how to make non-technological buildings is going to be the real technology. Green building is a thing of in this context. Now we don't innovate. That is the real problem. For example, green building. I am learning this for the last 15 years. Everybody is talking about green building, rain harvesting, but I fail to understand how they have termed wood as use of wood as not green. If we can we can do bioengineering and make a 10 kg tomato in Israel, for feeding hungry people, then why not we are able to grow a tree which is growing fast growing variety, and then there is a cutting pattern, because I feel that wood is now not made in a factory, it is made in the factory of the nature, and there is no fuel required for making the tree, and we can of course have a quick growing tree, and we can create it to. You can also think of any material other than wood. You will end up in a factory, and you will need fuel to make it.
really need to go back to what we did as students, pick up a pencil, pick up a tracing paper, pick up our sheets, and then draw on the drawing board. We must do that. But technology is a great help. Now, today, I have to do a project in Ranchi, for example, and I leave by the early morning flight to go to Ranchi to do a presentation. Suddenly, we need so we are giving a presentation, so there is one set of presentations today and the next. In minutes, I will send an email to my team and tell them that these are the changes required. They will produce it there and they will email back to me. So what is technology done? I don't have to go back to the drawing board. So it is helping me save that amount of time. So obviously everything has its pros and cons. We should use technology to the best effect that it can. So where we should not use so much and be creative as architects, we should not. But where we can use it to our advantage, for example, in transporting, in bringing stuff, in reproducing easily. Printing has become so much easier. Our drawings can be preserved better, storages are better. I can pick up a project which is 20 years old. So it has its advantages, and we should use it to that effect wherever we can. So we have to be very use this here.